Hey guys, what's going on? It's Eli, back with another review video, and of course, continuing on reviewing Christmassy films on the weekdays. The next Christmassy film I'm reviewing, and yes, you read the title, and as I teased in the last review video, this being a movie adaptation of A Christmas Carol, and this one being a musical, and as I also teased, Buddy the Elf and Deadpool in a Christmas film, in which being something Christmas Carol. That's right, guys. I am reviewing Spirited. Yes, Spirited. The Apple TV original movie. Yeah, Spirited, I got to say, was a pretty interesting Christmas Carol movie adaptation, and for this being a musical, like, there have been a couple of other Christmas Carol movie adaptations where they were turned into musicals, and as we all should know. And this one, yeah, what they did with this one, and, like, the twists that they did, you know, and the fact that, it's another Christmas Carol movie adaptation where it takes place in modern time. And another Christmas Carol movie that did this was Scrooged with Bill Murray. Like, that was set in, you know, modern time, you know, for that being in the late 80s. And and the fact that it takes place, yeah, in New York City, and the same goes for this. Yeah. And at first, I was thinking that Will Ferrell was playing the Scrooge character, and Ryan Reynolds was the one helping him out, like being like Ghost of Christmas Spirit, you know what I mean? However, at first I was kind of wrong, and the reason I say that is because, well, as I watched the rest of the movie, and for those of you that have too, you realize there's something about Will Ferrell's character that we don't know just yet until we find out who he really is. And yeah, so Ryan Reynolds, he's the Scrooge, and Will Ferrell, he's the one trying to redeem Ryan Reynolds' character. Yeah. Okay, so, as always, read the description / the story. A musical version of the classic Christmas story by Charles Dickens, a miserly man who treats everyone around him with terrible selfishness finds himself on a fantastical adventure into the 3 phases of time, past, present, and future, in order to discover how he ended up so miserably and alone. Okay, I don't know where to start off because, okay, for one thing, so much is happening in this, I tell ya, and if any of you have watched this and you're just like, oh my gosh, but not in a bad way, I'm just saying, like, you sometimes don't expect things like this in these type of movies. I mean, and for that matter, because this being another movie adaptation of A Christmas Carol, so just saying. So yeah, with the story itself, because we see that the ghosts and, you know, who are the spirits, and, you know, they are basically helping out and redeeming people who are acting like Scrooges. And what's interesting, in this movie, when you die, you basically join this office, like, workplace, and you basically help out those and redeem people who are, you know, being selfish and mean, and again, as I said, acting like Scrooges. And that's what we see. It's a job for these ghosts, and, you know, they do their job good in redeeming that person who is acting like a Scrooge. And we see at the beginning, one woman who's acting like a Scrooge, and she's here somewhere. Oh no, wait a minute, I see her. Oh, okay. I didn't know she was in there. Alright, so, and of course, as always, you know, have the tablet, and with IMDb. Mrs. Blansky, I think I got that right. And we get a cameo of Rose Byron, if I'm saying her last name right. She'd be best known for being in Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Star Wars, and also playing young Moira in the X-Men films. Yeah, that's her. So, you know, her character was once acting like a Scrooge and being selfish and mean, especially how she was treating her neighbors. But with the help of the ghost of Christmas past, present, and future, she got redeemed and became a better person. Yeah. And apparently what happens is after, you know, they are fully redeemed and such, well, they are greeted by all of the ghosts. And the main boss, who runs the office, you know, for the ghosts, being played by Patrick Page. And there's something else, too, about Patrick Page's character that we don't know just yet. Well, and you can clearly tell that one of the ghost employees, and which being Yet to Come, like, yeah, because we all know the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come / future, you know, being hooded figure and, like, maybe sometimes having, like, skeleton hands and just, you know, some creepy hands, you know? And, okay, and the voice of the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come and the body performance of Yet to Come, okay, the body performance being played by Lauren G. Woods, and the voice of Yet to Come, Tracy Morgan. Yeah, I didn't even know at first until I looked it up. Oh my gosh. But hey, Tracy Morgan's Tracy Morgan, and yeah, he's funny, you know, funny guy. And we also have Past, that's who she's referred to, yeah, Ghost of Christmas Past, being played by Sunita Mani. I think I got her full name right. And of course, Ghost of Christmas Present, as he's credited, played by Will Ferrell. Yes, so we get the introduction of Will Ferrell and explaining the whole business with, you know, him and the ghosts. And we get one of our first song numbers, but I'll come to the songs, like, a little bit later and how I'm reviewing this, you know. Their next assignment, the next assignment for them, well, they basically go to this hotel and they observe this one employee who's running the front desk, and I believe it's him, yeah. Mr. Altel, I don't even know how, you know me sometimes, bear with me. Alteli, I don't know how I'm pronouncing that name again. Being played by Paige Byrne, if I'm saying that right too. So that's who they're gonna go after and redeem. However, well, the thing is that nobody can see the ghosts, and face to face with Present, Will Ferrell, that is his character. That's how he's credited and called, Present. Right in front of him is Clint Briggs, played by Ryan Reynolds. So yeah, we get the introduction of Ryan Reynolds, and he is just this selfish, mean, like, businessman. Like, oh my gosh. Especially, like, you know, we also find out, I think from Past, like, so much information about Mr. Briggs, like, what's been going on in his life. He lost a sister, and, you know, he did not bring in and look after his niece. Instead, he had his brother look after his niece. And even at one point, he gets a visit from his niece, you know, asking for advice and help because she is competing, like, taking some president position at her school. And I think, yeah, there is another competitor for this, which being Josh Hubbins, if I'm saying the last name right, played by Maximilian Lee Piazza. I think I got that right. And also his father, and he's just credited Josh's father, played by Martin Lee. And he's helping, like, we see that Josh is helping out, you know, feeding homeless people, and his father took a picture of him, like, helping, like, serve food and bringing it to the homeless people. But Josh made this video talking about, you know, his father having him help the homeless and such, and, you know, him saying gross, and dang, kid, like, you went there. Oh my gosh. And Briggs's niece, named Wren, played by Marlo Barkley. Yeah, I got her full name right, I'm pretty sure. She saw the video of what Josh did and what he said about, helping and, fixing and serving food for the homeless people. And I think, yeah, because it got posted, and that basically, would, ruin Josh's life, and, he'd be canceled, you know what I mean? And pretty much, that would help, get Wren to, run that president position in her school. For present, Will Ferrell's character, because he's observing this and, seeing more about what Clint is like, and, he really wants to, redeem Clint, but his boss, again, played by Patrick Page, he is telling him that it's impossible to redeem Clint Briggs, and giving him a file about, people who are unredeemable. Yeah. And also, a lot is going on with Present, the Ghost of Christmas Present. He has avoided retirement, and at that point, because, again, he wants to be the one, he wants to help and redeem Clint, and he even threats Patrick Page's character, the boss, to, resign and take that chain, necklace, whatever it was, that would basically have the Ghost of Christmas Present retire from there on, and to, be alive and so on. He threatens that because, he wants to help Clint, and the boss, he has no choice but to let the Ghost of Christmas Present do so. And throughout 1 year, throughout the months, they are preparing to, redeem Clint Briggs and so on, and thus they proceed to. And of course, Patrick Page's character, being the Jacob Marley and haunting Clint Briggs and warning him that he will be visited by 3 spirits. And Clint knows this and knows that this is a Christmas Carol thing going on. And even mentioning the movie Scrooged with Bill Murray. That was a nice reference there. And the fact that, you know what? There are some kind of similarities to this and Scrooged. Don't you think? They are musicals and they are set in modern time in a city. So, yeah, they exactly share a lot in common. I wouldn't say that, no, this is not a direct remake or anything like that to Scrooged. No, it is its own musical Christmas Carol movie. You get my point. And thus, Clint being haunted by the Ghost of Christmas Past, Present, and Future, of course, starting with the Ghost of Christmas Past. And the thing about the Ghost of Christmas Past, she finds Clint attractive. And even when they first meet, because it doesn't take too long for them to hit it off and so on. Oh my gosh. And it's up to the Ghost of Christmas Present to, take over, for the Ghost of Christmas Past to finish up on Clint's past and so on. And what we find out from Clint's Christmas Past is, the family that he grew up in, it was just him, his, kind and beloved sister that cared for him the most, which being Carrie. And young Carrie in Christmas Past being played by Marlo Barkley. Yeah, because she plays both Wren and a young Carrie. And Carrie, again, just being a very, sweet, loving sister to a young Clint, and, throughout, their lives and when they grew up. And their mother was just just an awful mother. Even say when Clint was to get a puppy for Christmas, but yeah, this was clearly the mother's doing. She let the puppy out. Oh my gosh. And I think it was, Wendy, being played by Jen Tulloch. Yeah, I got that right. I also, you can hear this in the background. A Charlie Brown Christmas is playing, and yeah, that was pretty cool. And Wendy just being so horrible to Carrie, and even, we see Clint, trying to find his new dog, I think named Sparky, even like the name Sparky on like Sparky's food bowl. Yeah. And fast forward, and when they got older, well, Carrie was expecting a baby, and older Carrie, being played by Andrea Anders. Yeah, I got that right. And there's also, I think, I'm pretty sure, because if the movie really establishes this, Carrie and Clint's other relative, brother, that is, Owen. At first I thought it was Alan Tudyk, but nope, he was played by Joe Tippett. I know Joe Tippett. I know I've seen him before. And Clint, at this point, because he's being a horrible person, even, he at one point had a girlfriend named Nora, played by Amy Carrero, and she plays that one Disney princess that, because of that Disney Junior series, which being, let me see, Elena the Avalor, Elena of Avalor, that's right. So she was, she's that Disney princess, and I also remember her from that Cartoon Network live-action show, Level Up. Does anybody remember Level Up? I do. I enjoyed it, and so did my mom. Just thought I'd throw that out. Also, I was right. Owen is, Carrie and Clint's younger brother, flesh and blood, etc. And, well, we didn't see him in early Christmas past when they were kids. Well, probably because their mother didn't have him yet. So, yeah, that's understandable, and it makes sense. So, to, fast forward, and to speed things up, we see, because Wendy is sick, and, she got diagnosed, and I don't even think the movie really establishes how she got sick and died, But, yeah, so unfortunately, she doesn't make it, and basically, because she wanted, and, something about Clint, because she knows that, somewhere deep down inside, Clint, has heart and such, but, him acting all selfish and mean and just a horrible brother, and, of course, acting like a Scrooge, and, what's going to happen with her daughter, Ren, and the fact that, because, as we all know, and at that point, and what we saw, because Ren has been looked after by her uncle, Owen. Yeah, Uncle Owen, that's, I think I don't know if they did that joke in the film. Maybe they did, but I forgot. The Star Wars joke, Uncle Owen, because Uncle Owen, you get my point? I just thought I'd mention it, because it's true. It technically is true. And this not only is this focused on Clint's past, present, and future, but the attention also turns on the Ghost of Christmas Present. Yeah, because, when Clint comes to the Ghost of Christmas Present, and the fact that, things kind of get out of hand, and especially when Patrick Page comes in, and, he's not liking what's going on and what he's seeing the Ghost of Christmas Present doing. In fact, because there is a moment where the Ghost of Christmas Present shows Clint his Christmas past when he was alive 2 centuries ago. And, well, they're at, 19th century time. And also what's really cool is that, because this is, work and such for the ghosts, and, the Ghost of Christmas Present, having that earpiece in his ear and telling them to, places everyone and, and telling them what to set up next and so on. You get my point. So that is pretty funny. And so, yeah, again, the Ghost of Christmas Present shows Clint his Christmas past. And in the 19th century, we see and find out that the Ghost of Christmas Present was Ebenezer Scrooge himself. Yeah, he he was Ebenezer Scrooge. He is Ebenezer Scrooge, the Ebenezer Scrooge. And, you know, with what was going on with Ebenezer Scrooge, which would get turned into the book, as we all know, A Christmas Carol. Like, yeah, I think that was a pretty nice twist, you know. And again, because the attention turns on, now we know, Ebenezer Scrooge, because Clint consulting and talking with Scrooge at times, and with song numbers here and there and such, but still, like, Scrooge is focusing on Clint, definitely, because, you know, he's focusing on Clint. This is about Clint, and for him to be hopefully and possibly redeemed as, you know, the best that Scrooge can do, you know, to redeem him, of course. Also, something else going on with Scrooge, and this happened early on in the film and before they began to haunt and start to redeem Clint, and before Clint got to see the ghosts, someone else saw Scrooge accidentally because he became attached and fell in love with one of Clint's employees, and that being Kimberly, played by Octavia Spencer. And she has a couple of song numbers, especially like one of her first song numbers on how she feels about working, you know, for this, and, you know, with Clint being her boss, and, you know, basically with her wanting to just get out of there and so on. And again, Scrooge just growing attached to, you know, Kimberly and falling in love with her, and, you know, because she starts to see Scrooge as well, and accidentally, no other ghosts, just him. And yeah, because them bumping into each other a couple of times. Yeah, so something else going on for Scrooge, and with, you know, with what's going on with him throughout the film, and especially because, like, as I said, you know, with him avoiding retirement and, you know, no longer being a ghost and being alive and so on, you know. And so to speed things up more, you know, things are still getting out of hand, and, you know, how much that, you know, Scrooge is wanting to redeem him, and Clint, you know, turning to Scrooge, and, yeah, even, like, Patrick Page's character. And here's the thing, Patrick Page's character, you know, him being the boss of this whole ghost business thing, he is actually Jacob Marley. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. So, Marley just, you know, still trying to convince, like, you know, Scrooge to retire officially, and one song number that Scrooge has, but before that, because what else, like, when it comes to, like, more on the past, like, you know, we find out because, well, Clint's dying sister, Carrie, you know, she really wanted Clint to look over and take care of Ren, but Clint just selfishly does not want to do it, and he has Owen come in, and he had his dying sister turn to Owen and ask him to look after her daughter and, you know, his niece, and it was really supposed to be Clint, because she really wanted Clint to look after her, but he just selfishly refused. And the actual Clint, you know, watching this and seeing his past self be so horrible, like, yeah, he breaks down in, like, a couple of tears, and it is coming to him at this point, like, realizing how selfish he's been. And yeah, because Marley's stepping in at one point because, you know, at times Clint turning the wheels to Scrooge, and Marley did this one time, and he couldn't do it this time because Clint refused. Marley trying to send Clint back to his bedroom and, you know, where he would wake up, but Clint refuses. And yeah, that's where Scrooge has another song number, like, I think it goes like, you know, am I really unredeemable, or just something, because the word unredeemable is in there. And again, when I get to the song numbers, because I'm going to be saving that after I talk about the story. And yeah, and to speed things up some more, because, after that song number, well, Scrooge actually does take the retirement. Well, it was forced upon him to retire, and he wakes up in bed with Clint, you know, and Scrooge being in funny pajamas and with a nightcap. And yep, Scrooge is alive, and everybody can see him now, and he can interact with everything, even like a couple of times like hitting on walls and such. And a Christmas party that's happening, I think, yeah, in Clint's like office building or apartment, whatever. And some of the employees like dressed up as like Christmas characters. One of them being Uncle Eddie from Christmas Vacation, you know, in the bathrobe, and, you know, because he was filling out the crapper, you know, that part. And someone was dressed up as Buddy the Elf, and Scrooge, noticing the Buddy Elf costume that one employee was wearing, and saying that he looks like an idiot. Like, get it? Because it's funny. And the fact that, well, Will Ferrell did play Buddy the Elf. So that is funny. That is pretty funny right there. And of course, yeah, sure enough, Scrooge reunites and meets with Kimberly once again, and they do go on a date, and there's another song number that she has, and Scrooge singing along. And, well, this time, Clint now comes face to face with the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. And at times, the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come complaining that, you know, nobody can hear him talk because he's just silent and muted, as the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come is. Like, he just points or just bows, like nodding yes and so on. And, yeah, so Clint has to see his Christmas future. And what happens in Clint's Christmas future, well, because Ren did post that video of Josh just being so horrible at that homeless shelter, you know, serving food for the homeless people, and it just basically ruined his life, and all these, like, horrible comments, and just, you know, calling him and, you know, saying that he's canceled and so on. And eventually, yeah, Ren did get that president position, you know, in her class. But what happens next is, during, like, her being president in a classroom, all the kids, like, get, like, information on their phones, and so does Ren, because it turns out, and we see that what happens next, there's, like, a funeral ceremony going on. It turns out that it's Josh's funeral ceremony, because I think it's obvious. Josh pretty much, yeah, because of what happened with him, and this just, it ruined him into a total world of depression, you know what I'm saying? It's so obvious. And of course, Clint feeling, you know, he is, again, he's really starting to feel bad about this, and he, of course, sees his own tombstone, and then at one point, the Ghost of Christmas Past comes in, and they once again see each other. And that's where the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come, he's trying to speak. He's trying to speak, and he finally does, and he confronts, and he lets Clint have it just by insulting him and swearing at him a little bit, even, like, say, hitting him in the crotch and so on, and throwing him and, like, on, you know, to the ground, I should say, throwing him to the ground. And of course, you know, he does wake up, he's all right, and thus, you know, he becomes a much better person now. Just almost, because, well, because, yeah, he wakes up in his apartment, and Scrooge is there, and because it seemed like you know, his and Kimberly's date was going so well, but he's just upset. And when, Clint and Scrooge tagging along with Clint to stop Ren from posting that video of Josh, you know, with what Josh did, and they take a taxi, and Clint asking Scrooge how the date went with him and Kimberly, and because he's just upset, like, you think that it just turned into a big disaster later on their date. And what he told him was, well, because they were holding hands, walking through the streets, and, you know, they at one point kiss, and that was it. Like, seriously? How was that a bad date? Like, why is he acting like this? But I think, yeah, there is, yeah, now I remember correctly now, and with that, there is a reason why he's acting depressed and thinking that, you know, the date didn't go so well. Well, and when, Clint, comes to, like, a skating rink, and he's, you know, trying to find his niece and to stop her from posting that. Well, actually, turns out that Kimberly happens to be there, and she was the one that, convinced and talked with, and consulting Ren, I should say, on what to do with her life. And maybe she doesn't have to, be a president in some position at class, And, of course, this prevents her from posting that video of Josh. And yeah, it's thanks to Kimberly. Well, and especially this obviously had to do with Scrooge. You know what I mean? Because of how much Scrooge fell in love with Kimberly. And even, Scrooge, convincing and consulting Kimberly what to do. Yeah, because there you go. That makes sense. It's not over yet because, well, you think that Clint is, a much better man now, and especially, to those he was being selfish to, from Kimberly, his niece Ren, and his young brother Owen. However, Scrooge does something else, and by just running out of there and Clint chasing him, Scrooge thinks that it's not finished, Clint is not really fully redeemed, not 100% yet. And Clint, assuring Scrooge that, but still, Scrooge, he basically steps out on the street and he was gonna kill himself, be run over by a bus, and Clint coming in and pushing him out of the way, and, he would have taken the hit of the bus, but everything freezes. Well, and that's because it's the ghost's doing. Clint is now officially redeemed, especially right before what Scrooge did, almost getting hit by a bus, because, Scrooge had now considered Clint a bro, and the same goes for Clint. They now both considered each other bros. And there is a song number, of course, about this, and with the ghosts joining in, and it's pretty good. But then after the song number ends, and there was one thing that was going on when they were making their way, and for Clint to, stop Ren from posting that video, they were talking about Tiny Tim and talking more about, Scrooge's past, and, thinking that, because Scrooge thought that, the little boy he had a different name. He was not named Tiny Tim, apparently, but Clint, was telling him that it was Tiny Tim, and that's when Scrooge realized, and after the song number was finished, that, it is Tiny Tim. That's what his name was. And, Clint was about to say something and didn't even get to finish his sentence because time unfreezes and he still gets hit by the bus. And you think he's all right at first because he's getting out of the back of a truck, but no, he is dead. Oh my gosh. But still, you know what? He did officially 100% get redeemed because he did save Scrooge, and someone that he started to really care for and, of course, considered a bro. And Marley, of course, telling Clint about this, and we get a surprising appearance of Clint's sister, because now she's one of the ghosts, yeah. And the epilogue to this movie, because everything is much better now for our characters. Clint is now, one of the main heads, of The Office. And, for Scrooge and Kimberly, they're living a happy life. They're now married, and they have 2 kids. And Kimberly, Scrooge, and their kids can see Clint. And, even the kids calling him Uncle Clint. And even when the kids are trying to run to him and give him a hug, well, even though they can see him, they can't give him a hug because he's a ghost. They go through him. Oh, that's pretty funny. And for the rest of the characters, say Ren, especially Ren, her life is much better now, what she's doing. And they also mentioned, both Clint and Scrooge, that Ren is in love, and we don't know who, maybe it's Josh. Like, they don't even establish it. And we get one more song number during the end credits. However, after that song number, pretty much the entire cast sings, the last song number, but there is one song number that's played, and it's in black and white, and it's one song that Scrooge didn't get to, well, you think he didn't get to finish singing because, at that scene where he was threatening Marley to resign/retire if, he doesn't get to help and redeem Clint. And because he started singing a song number, and yeah, this convinced Marley to, have Scrooge, go ahead and, help and redeem Clint. And again, because you think he didn't get to finish the song number because he was asking if, do you want to have me finish, my song number? And he does. And yeah, that's what we see during the credits. And again, as I said, it's in black and white. It was pretty funny. And there is an end credit scene because the one guy that the ghosts, especially Marley, were really aiming for to redeem, and it's the front desk guy, because of the office building, run by Clint, because how much the front desk guy was being a jerk. Well, in the end credit scene, because I think Clint is the one that's haunting him and going to redeem him, and how he does this, he literally haunts him by moving like a horse statue or something, and it causes him to literally pass out. It was a pretty funny end credit scene. Okay, so now let's come to the song numbers fully, and to talk more about them. The song numbers for Spirited, and because this being a musical, this has a lot of song numbers. Some I thought were okay, the rest, couldn't get into them. Cause some of the song numbers were very touching, and what was going on, one about Good Afternoon, which, because at that's where at the beginning, because Scrooge showed Clint his Christmas past, and because, he revealed to Clint that he is the Ebenezer Scrooge. And, with Scrooge saying good afternoon during his time, and the song number Good Afternoon, because basically that's an insult. Back then, that was an insult. Song numbers with Kimberly, and one with her and Scrooge, and with Clint singing as well, his song numbers. Yeah, the names of the songs, The Graveyard Shift, Spirited, Post-it, Slay It, and So, Elf Aware, Fa La La, Lasting Impression, Sugar and Spicy, No Place Like Home, Snowballs in Your Court, Christmasive Problem, I think, if I'm saying that right, Up to Snow Good. Yeah, some interesting song titles for sure. And you know what? The cast, singing these song numbers, from Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, and Octavia Spencer, they're really good singers. And, they did a pretty good job singing these song numbers, definitely. And, also, I know I heard Patrick Page singing, and all the others. Yeah, there were some decent song numbers in this film, and with the cast that this movie had, and with their singing talents, yeah, not bad. For what it is, with its song numbers, you get my point. Spirited, wow, just what an interesting Christmas Carol movie adaptation this is, and for it being a musical. Everything about Spirited I thought was not bad, okay, and it is what it is. And, the storytelling, not bad, and because, it is Christmas Carol, it has to do exactly what A Christmas Carol does, it had some pretty good funny moments. I, of course, laughed at some stuff that I thought was pretty funny. And the emotional moments, this movie did a pretty good job with that, too. I think it did. Yeah, and with the song numbers, again, it had some interesting song numbers, ones that I thought were really good, and some just, not that much, but they weren't really god-awful, Again, Spirited is what it is and how it turned out, and, overall, it's not really bad, but it is enjoyable. For it being another movie adaptation of A Christmas Carol and for it being a musical. And I'm giving Spirited, it's on my mind, I'm giving it 6 out of 10 stars. Yes, 6 out of 10 stars for Spirited. And what about you guys? What did you think of Spirited itself? Did you think it was another pretty good movie adaptation of A Christmas Carol, and for it being a musical, did you enjoy what was going on, and with the song numbers, just everything about this film? And what did you think of my review? Leave comments and give this review video a like, as always. So, with all that being said, thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Spirited. More review videos are on the way. They're going to be awesome. Keep looking forward, and I'll see you guys in the next video/review. And of course, continuing on, reviewing more Christmassy films on the weekdays. Stay tuned, because the next Christmassy film I'm going to be reviewing, well, it actually came out the same day when Spirited came out. And let's just say, and to describe it, it's Christmas in a hotel, and one of the Riverdale cast members is in this. I'm sure some of you might know what I'm talking about. Stay tuned for that. Take care, peace out, and happy holidays / Merry Christmas to you all.